Yuzu was a model student in class. He not only had bright grades but was also humble and polite, earning everyone's respect. Yuzu's life went smoothly until a transfer student showed up. The teacher introduced Siokchan as the national high school boxing champion. The class cheered except Yuzu. He looked terrified, like he'd seen a monster. As soon as the teacher left, Siokchan beat up the class troublemaker and quickly established his dominance. Then he gently touched Yuzu's face and greeted him in a familiar way. The class leader tried to stop him, but Siokchan wasn't a nice guy. He even bullied the girls. Yuzu carefully grabbed his arm and begged him to stop, but that only made him angry. Siokchan yelled at Yuzu, accusing him of forgetting the lessons from the past. It turned out that Siokchan had bullied Yuzu all through middle school. Whenever you asked the teacher for help, things only got worse. Now the nightmare was back. Yuzu fell to the ground, groaning in pain. Then a pen caught his eye. He struggled up and grabbed it with shaking hands. Siokchan sneered and mocked him as a coward.
He even grabbed Yuzu's hand and pointed to his eyes, daring him to stab. Years of fear and anger burst out, and Yuzu stabbed instinctively. The whole class froze in shock. Siokchan screamed in pain, holding his eye. In the end, because you deliberately used a weapon and caused Siokchan to lose his right eye, it wasn't seen as self-defense. His mother cried helplessly. Yuzu never expected his only fight back would destroy his bright future. On the bus to prison, no one dared to mess with the man in the back row. Yuzu's seat was taken by a blonde guy, so he had to sit next to the scary man. After arriving, the guards took all their belongings. Dhun met you again and quietly asked why he was in prison. Yuzu whispered, "Attempted murder." Everyone was shocked. Dhun quickly apologized for stealing the seat and lied, saying his crime was similar. But later, when introducing himself to other inmates, he admitted he was just in for theft. An experienced prisoner explained the prison rules to the two newcomers. Here, the pecking order was everything, and fists decided rank. He warned if they couldn't throw a punch, they should stay low and become invisible. Now the prison was controlled by three groups. One led by Seung Hyab, a former world judo champion with unbeatable skills. Another was Dhun, a muscular man who turned crazy when angry. The third was Seung, a short man who looked weak but could crush anyone. To gain power, Wanjun and Seung teamed up to set a trap. They pretended to fight and framed Hyab for attacking them and stealing cigarettes. Because of this, Hyab was put in solitary confinement, leaving only the two of them in power. But there was only one real top dog in prison. Even if the three captains together couldn't beat him, that man was Dhun, the one who sat next to you yesterday. Dhun was the youngest MMA world champion, praised by foreign media as Ubermensch. One day, he brought flowers and gifts home for his sister's birthday. But when he opened the fridge, his hand got covered in blood. He searched the house in panic and found his sister lying in a pool of blood. Suddenly, an attacker grabbed his neck from behind. Not realizing how dangerous Dhun was, Dhun easily broke the attacker's leg. Seeing his mother's body, he got furious and beat the second attacker hard until he lost consciousness. Another attacker tried to sneak attack but was beaten with no chance to fight back. In the end, all three armed robbers died on the spot. Dhun was jailed for excessive self-defense. Yuzu worried about how to survive the hard prison life. Just then, a player got injured. Yuzu had to go on as a substitute. He clumsily kicked the soccer ball but accidentally hit Wanjun's balls. Seung Yong laughed, saying Yuzu was in big trouble. Some guys tried to drag you to a hidden corner. This scene brought back painful memories. At this critical moment, a familiar figure passed by. Yuzu struggled hard to break free, like grabbing the last straw, and asked Dhun for help. Wanjun was a little afraid of Dhun but still warned him not to interfere. Dhun hesitated but decided to save the poor boy. Wanjun felt humiliated and accused Dhun of being a murderer pretending to be nice. With that, he rushed forward. Dhun dodged all attacks quickly and ended him with one punch. Yuzu looked at his lifesaver with great respect. From that day, Wanjun put Yu on his hit list. While Yuzu searched for a way out, an unexpected visitor came to see him. Siokchan's right eye was blind, and his boxing career was over. He said he waited every day for Yu's release. That would be the start of hell. Yuzu couldn't imagine the pain that was coming. He cried helplessly, begging for mercy. Siokchan only said he couldn't forgive him and left angrily. In the days that followed, Yuzu lived in fear. Every day, by day, Wanjun's threats followed him everywhere. By night, Siokchan's fierce face haunted his mind. Seeing Dhun training, Yuzu decided to take a desperate chance. Every day he brought a bottle of milk to visit him. At first, Dhun thought he was trying to suck up to the strongest and coldly warned him to stay away. But Yuzu followed him anyway. He gathered his courage and begged Dhun to teach him how to fight. He wanted to be strong like him. Dhun refused. He didn't want you to go down the wrong path for revenge. Yuzu said he just wanted a normal life. He admitted he always ran away because he didn't want to get beat up. He hated himself for being poor and weak. He even thought his existence was a mistake. But now he didn't want to run anymore. Eventually, Dhun was moved by his honesty. He agreed to train Yuzu, but only if he ran 100 laps in 40 minutes. When Dhun shouted, "Start!" Yu ran without hesitation. Soon he was out of breath, vision blurred, legs weak, but he didn't stop. The humiliating memories of being bullied kept flashing in his mind. This was his only chance to change his fate. He had to keep going. By the 70th lap, Yuzu was nearly out of strength. He collapsed, vomited, and wanted to give up. Even Dhun told him quitting wasn't shameful. But thinking of his weak past self, Yuzu staggered to his feet. He roared like a beast and rushed forward until he passed out. Even though he failed the test, Dhun accepted him. Thanks to Dhun's good relationship with the warden, Yuzu moved into his cell. Dhun gave him a fitness test right away. Seeing his awkward push-up form, Dhun asked if he was sick. Worse, Yuzu couldn't even do one pull-up. Dhun sighed. Under his help, Yuzu shakily finished his first pull-up. His tough training had begun. In the first few days, Yuzu's limbs were weak. A few push-ups left him collapsed on the floor. But under strict training, he kept pushing past his limits. To build strength, he ate more and treated meals like part of training. Day after day, his fists got stronger, his muscles took shape. Siokchan wandered aimlessly on the street. A car behind him kept honking. The men inside cursed at him, asking if he was blind. That word deeply hurt Siokchan. He ran up and kicked off the side mirror, then beat up the two rude men. This scene was witnessed by a gang leader named Wu Yong. He was impressed by Siokchan's natural talent and wanted to recruit him. But Siokchan wasn't interested at all until Wu Yong noticed his blind right eye. He promised he could cure it and make Siokchan even stronger. Back in prison, Yuzu studied while holding a horse stance. Min was curious why he was so into working out. Yuzu said he just wanted to be strong, but over time he started to enjoy it. Then Min gave him bad news. Dhun was over 23 and would be moved to adult prison. During training, Yu kept losing focus. Dhun reminded him to train as hard as he could every second, because they didn't have much time left. Then Yu noticed Min was being bullied. He quickly stepped in and stopped it. The bullies tried to gang up on him, but Yu was now strong enough to protect his friend. Wanjun got angry after hearing his men got hurt. He sent someone to summon Yu to the workshop, planning to settle both old and new scores. Yuzu apologized for hitting Wanjun's men and explained that they were the ones who bullied his friend first. But Wanjun didn't listen and hit Yuzu hard on the head. Yuzu dodged the second strike and slapped Wanjun by reflex. Embarrassed, Wanjun got mad and slammed Yuzu to the ground. Yuzu quickly got up, but his hits felt like nothing to the strong Wanjun. Wanjun's punches came down like hammers. Yuzu gradually fell into a disadvantage. He collapsed, groaning in pain. To everyone's surprise, Yuzu stood up with determination. He smashed into Wanjun's face again and again until he passed out. At the critical moment, Dhun stopped Yuzu from losing control. He feared Yuzu would end up like him. Meanwhile, Siokchan grew colder and more ruthless. Through constant fighting, he eventually became Wu Yong's trusted killer. The next day, Dhun prepared a big lunch for Yuzu. The two then had their first real sparring match. Dhun noticed Yu was holding back and told him to take it seriously. Yuzu fought with full power, but his punch still stopped at the last second. Dhun scolded him for hesitating and warned that he would get knocked out the moment he was off guard. Even so, he was proud Yu did better than expected. He declared the course finished. It turned out Dan was being moved to adult prison today. Before leaving, he told Yu that sharks don't have swim bladders, so if they stop swimming, they sink and die. He hoped Yu would never stop either. After Dhun left, Yuzu couldn't hold back his tears. He could only fill his empty heart by training non-stop. Before getting on the bus, Dan looked back at the prison one last time. At the same time, a former prisoner now worked for Siokchan. He bragged about how strong Yuzu had become under Dhun. After hearing this, Siokchan just gave a cold smirk. The next day he visited the prison again and asked Yu if he was working out just to fight him. Yuzu didn't answer. Instead, he mocked Siokchan for still being the same. Siokchan sneered and said he looked forward to the day Yuzu got out. Soon Seung Hyab got out of solitary confinement. At the same time, Yu returned to his original cell. Seung Hyab seriously asked if Yuzu wanted to take his place. Yuzu casually replied he had no interest. Seung Hyab was confused because he heard Yuzu was a fight-obsessed punk. During cleaning duty, Seung Yong challenged Yuzu. If you won, Seung Yong would do anything, he said. Yuzu asked him to stop bullying others. Seung Yong agreed. On the duel day, Yuzu disappeared. Seung Yong publicly mocked him as a coward. Seeing this, Seung Yong gave a talk about peace and love. He said fighting only brought punishment and pain, nothing else. He told everyone they shouldn't keep living as trash. Just then, Yuzu arrived. Seung Yong attacked first without hesitation. He was fast and wild, and you couldn't fight back. Seung Yong thought he had won, but to his surprise, Yu stood up again. He grabbed Seung Yi's leg and hit his thigh hard. Then he used a chokehold to turn the fight around. Yuzu won, becoming the top dog in prison. With his mediation, Wanjun and Seung Yong agreed to stop using violence and bullying others. Peace finally returned to the prison. Former enemies became close friends. Seung even taught Yu all his kicking techniques. In the adult prison, Dhun began another round of redemption, but in his heart, no one could replace his first student. Due to good behavior, Yuzu was released early. Before leaving, he visited the training yard one last time, remembering days spent with Doi. Then he left prison deeply grateful. But before Yu caught his breath, another crisis appeared. Siokchan tried to shame him with tofu, but Yuzu saw this as childish. Without further talk, their final fight started. Experienced Siokchan attacked fiercely, beating Yu like a punching bag. He even mocked Yuzu's mother, saying she begged like a dog. Yuzu got mad and punched him hard. Siokchan lost control and hit Yuzu's head and stomach again and again. Yuzu fell to the ground, coughing up blood. At that moment, he remembered what Dhun had told him, to be a shark, always swimming, never stopping. His fighting spirit came back. They started punching each other like crazy. Yuzu used the boxing technique Dhun taught him and hit Siokchan's eyebrow. Siokchan got angry and started throwing wild punches. Yuzu saw an opening and used Seung Yong's kicking technique. Siokchan got up, shocked. He didn't expect the weak Yu to be this strong. But the fight wasn't over. Now it was about willpower, and Yuzu never lost. In the end, Siokchan surrendered. As he watched Yuzu walk away, he felt a deep sense of defeat. Later, Yuzu visited Dhun in prison. They were both happy to see each